honey, are you still going to order your Slate truck? I heard that Ford is coming out with a truck about $28,000. Do you think it's a viable option?
Not really. You know, I've heard that same comment about 50,000 times since I did my last video on the Slate. And no, I'm not canceling it because Slate is configurable. Everything to do with the new Ford Fathom, it's pure speculation.
All right.
Well, Ford just revealed the Fathom, and the internet has already crowned it the Slate killer. So today, we're going to blast that with facts. Not fanboyism, just the reality of where things stand in August of 2026. And I'm going to prove my point a different way this time by showing you my actual truck configured right now, live on screen. Full disclosure, I have a Slate reservation. This isn't about defending my order. It's about making sure you're not making a decision based on a press release instead of today's reality. Myth number one, Fathom is basically here. You can get in line. Well, here's the truth. Ford's own press release says pre-orders open early next year. And that's all we know. Ford hasn't defined early. And I will not do that either. I'm not going to speculate on a month Ford hasn't committed to. And anybody who does that is disingenuous. Compare that to Slate, which has had an open reservation book for months. Real deposits, a real configurator, real customer support, answering real questions. One of my commenters on my last video, B. Gunn, asked Slate directly about corrosion protection on road salt states and got a specific engineering level answer in return. That's a company already talking to real buyers about a real truck. Myth number two, Ford's already testing it, so it's basically ready. Well, here's the truth. The vehicles Ford has out testing, under a dozen, are still wrapped in camouflage. That almost always signals early alpha hardware, not something ready to tool with and start your production lines. Think of it like a rough draft of a rough draft. Ford is still tweaking the hardware. And that's not a pushback. I consider that a very good thing. It means they will deliver a product that is ready, not another Edsel. Now, on the Slate side, 75 to 100 versions of the truck are currently in testing. Range testing, crash testing, durability testing. And they have an actual production facility in Indiana running pre-production models to get everything tuned in on the line and on track for delivery. The trucks that are out in the public, no camo. Several have toured the country letting real media drive in them. Mike G123 commented that he personally spotted a Slate with manufacturer plates in Troy, Michigan. And that makes sense because there's an automotive testing facility in Troy that specializes in lab-based automotive durability, fatigue, and structural testing for many vehicle manufacturers. A truck that is on the road making rounds at real shows with real manufacturer plates, that's not a rendering. And myth number three, we basically know what the Fathom can do. Well, here's the truth. We do not. Not the range, not the payload, not the towing, not the size of the bed. There are no dimensions. There's not even a battery chemistry confirmed. Everything else floating around is pure speculation dressed up as fact. So, Slate killer? Maybe in a chemical-induced fantasy. Now, here's where I want to show you, not just tell you, why this is real. Let's pull up the Slate configurator right now, and I'm going to show you my actual build, part by part. Here we go. Okay, this is the Slate website. And the first thing we're going to do is come up here and sign in. Once we're signed in, you can see the page basically stays the same, but you see up here that I have 3 configurations already put together, and my account information is right here. I'm not going to go through the account information. That's personal and private. But what I will do is we will first look at the 3 builds that I have already built. One of them is the one I will order. So we have 3 different designs, all pickup truck configurations. This is the design that I'm most likely to purchase, but I have a less no-frills design and one with higher configuration value. In other words, more wrap and more hoopla, if you will. But I want a basic pickup truck. So let's actually take a look at this one by clicking on Update Design. You'll notice that you have exterior and interior configuration things that need to take place when you're making your configuration. First off, I want to point out there are no trim packages. In other words, you don't get an LX, an XL, a Lariat, a 4x4, any of that. It is just different things you can add to your truck. I'm starting out with the blank slate, which is $24,950. I don't want a square back SUV. I don't want a fastback SUV. I do not want an open air kit. Don't want any of that. Not at this point in time. The beautiful thing is I can add any of this later. Let's look at the wraps. I have chosen a roof partial wrap just on the cab of the truck. $159. You can see that that's been added. Then we go over to decals, and you'll see that accent decals have been added. When we go to the lighting, I've made no changes to the standard lighting, but you can change the front end look or the rear end look. You can change the front end look or the rear end look to meet your desires. I don't want a roof rack, so you can see that that has not been added to the design. But there are literally dozens to choose from. When we get down to utility, I have added the trifold tonneau cover. That's $1,000. No preview available other than the picture you see here, but that's all I need at this point in time. I'm not adding a spare tire carrier or a spare tire. The only accessory that I have added to this design is the truck bed mat. That's it. $119. I've added nothing else at this point in time to this specific design. On the appearance package, I've added nothing. To the wheels and suspension, I've added a 17-inch single color wheel decal to give it that little white trim around the outside edge of the wheel. That's it. Off vehicle, I've added nothing because I don't want any of this stuff. If I do, I'll go back and order it later. Now let's go to the interior of the design. Appearance-wise, the only thing that I've added is a door armrest, $50. As far as audio goes, I do want to have some sounds. I've added the hands-free Bluetooth controller. Price is not yet available, but it should not be too expensive. And the universal speaker mount kit, which goes right under the air conditioning controls. As far as utility goes, I've added the tablet mount kit because I intend on using my personal Apple iPad for that center screen. A lot cheaper than the thousands of dollars you're going to pay in something else. I've added all-weather floor liners for the front seat, and that's it. As far as tech goes, I do want the Slate telematics unit. That's $275. What does that do for you? It adds the ability for you to remotely control your vehicle. Gives you telematics information, range, charge, all that kind of stuff, wirelessly. Gives you the ability to issue a start command to start the climate, so you don't walk out to a hot truck. And as far as Slatelets go, any of you guys are free to order those and send them to me. I'll put any Slatelet you send in my truck. Now, if we go over here to account and orders, you will see that I have a pre-order on file. If possible, would you be interested in an earlier delivery window? Yes, the earliest available. If you'll notice, I have the pre-order number blacked out. I don't want you to look at it. But I am a confirmed delivery for April to June of next year. And hopefully it's much sooner. Now let's go over to the blank slate and go through the slate information here, page by page. Again, the blank slate is the pickup you see right here on the screen. No frills. You can get it as either an SUV, a fastback, or open air. They already have some inspiration here for you. You can pick any one of the designs that they've already laid out and just click the button and it updates your design bed. I don't want any of this. I mean, it looks good. These are all great, and I can see a lot of people ordering based on that. That's the closest you're going to get to an actual trim. It's refreshingly uncluttered on the inside. It just has a basic driver information center. The specs in the SUV are here. Compared to the Ford Maverick, it has a much shorter wheelbase, but a longer bed, a 6-inch longer bed. But you don't have the 3 extra seats that 90% of the people who own one will never use. This is the full-size Chevy Silverado. Again, a 4-door. Not much shorter. But here's the standard by which you should measure this vehicle. This is the 1985 Toyota SR5 pickup truck. And you can see the slate is bigger. It's 205 miles of estimated range, and I think it's going to come out more. It comes with a charger that you can put in your car. It uses the NACS port. It is built to protect the most precious cargo, which is you. It's easy to work on. Anybody can put the wrap on it. You want free accessories? Just pre-order and you'll get one. And if you're not ready, you can just sign up and get updates as time goes along. What are some of the essentials? Well, there's Slate University. Tells you how to work on this. There's charging. There's 3D files. And then there's service. Any Repair Pal certified technician can work on your car. But this is where you go if you want to build and shop. The interior, the exterior, and merch. So some of the designs. Let's do a summary on the design that I just gave you. The vehicle subtotal is $24,950. I've added $1,864.94, pretty close to $2,000. We'll go ahead and call it $2,000 worth of accessories. Half of that is the tonneau cover, and I'm still under $27,000. These are all the accessories that I have listed, and you can see the only ones that don't have a price are the hands-free Bluetooth controller, tablet mount, and the universal speaker mount. Those three are coming, and I cannot imagine any of those being over $200. We'll know soon, and I'll update you when it does happen. That's it. I want to remind you about something. Slate doesn't do trims. I may have said trim in an earlier cut of this video, and that's actually wrong, so let me correct myself on camera. Legacy manufacturers like Ford give you trim packages, LX, XL, Limited, Lariat, and you either take it or leave it. Slate, on the other hand, flips that. There's a base truck, and then you decide everything from there. The accessories, the configuration, the wrap color, the seating configuration, the cargo setup. I'm not picking from a menu somebody else built for me. I'm building it myself. And that is important. This is my truck. It's not a rendering, not a concept sketch. a configuration tied to an actual production line in Indiana, with a price that updates in real time as I make choices. That's the difference between a truck you can build today and a truck that, as of this recording, doesn't have a single published specification. Now, to be fair, same as always on this channel, Ford knows how to scale manufacturing, and that's not nothing. If the Fathom delivers on that roughly $28,350 starting price with real specs, it could be a genuinely good option for somebody. This is not a Ford bad, Slate good video. It's one of these trucks exists in the real world today, configurable, testable, drivable, and one of them exists mostly on a press release. Bottom line, remember this: SOL. Specs on the road, locked in. Slate has published real specs, real trucks on real roads, and a configurator you can build in right now. Fathom, as of today, has none of the three. But that can change. But it hasn't, and anyone telling you Fathom is killing Slate today is selling you a headline, not a fact. Go ahead and drop a comment below. If you have a Slate reservation, has the Fathom made you reconsider even a little? And if you want to build your own configuration, the link's in the description. I'd love to hear your real experience, not just internet noise or hoopla videos. This is the whole reason that I make these videos. Here is what one viewer on Facebook shared with me after my last Slate update. I never had or have driven an EV, but I ordered a Slate and can't wait to get it. Much of that is thanks to you for educating me, not just about Slate, but about EVs and battery myths. That was especially helpful. I look forward to following you and what you have to say. Keep up the good work. That was Jack. Again, thank you, Jack, and thank you, everyone, for stopping by. I will see you out there or somewhere along the route from point A to point B. So take it easy, everybody. See you all real soon with another Slate update, probably mid-September. See you then.